Hello everyone and welcome back to Fate Zero. This is episode 11. In the previous episode, we had a Reen-based episode, which I was very excited about. Even though, you know, I don't know a crazy amount about Reen yet, I do know that she's, you know, somewhat of an important character later. And, but I didn't think that this series would really go into her character because she's a kid. I just thought, you know, that she's just there to go like, oh look, and Reen's around. Anyway, let's continue with the main story. But no, I mean, she had a pretty important part of the story. She saved some kids and showed off that she was actually a really talented mage. So I'm excited to jump more into this to see what else this series has to offer, because that was a really fun little diversion. But I imagine now we're getting back into the real shit. So make sure to support this video if you can, liking the video, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel. All of that stuff helps me out a lot. And go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction and early access. You can get the next week's video of my Fate Zero on there right now, in full-length version. It's very worth it. Anyway, let's jump into Fate Zero, episode 11. This place was fucked up. Oh, you okay? Oh, is that
Irisfield.
What's his name? Is Kanda coming?
Too good to leave before launching a frontal assault.
Oh god.
That's enlightening. The enemy is likely Ryder.
Midnight da.
Hello,
He's still wearing his stupid t-shirt.
I came because I wanted to see your castle. And what's with that tasteless armor? Are you going out to fight someone right now?
Tasteless?
Why aren't you wearing your fashionable clothes like tonight? I've come to drink. What else does it look like I've come here?
Okay, I'd like to party with him.
Surely you have a garden here suitable for a banquet. Honestly, this
I
castle
think he's
is
being
far too
legit.
dusty to be in.
Hell yeah.
If it's simply a means to decide that fact, there's hardly a need for bloodshed.
Hey.
After all, if the heroic spirits can agree on our rankings, the matter can simply settle itself.
Do you think people are going to agree on their rankings?
As one who also claims the title of king, you cannot refuse this opportunity. You might consider this a Grail dialogue rather than a Grail war.
That sounds
The
good.
matter of whom will become clear to us as we drink our fill and converse.
This is so interesting. Whoa! Oh. Oh, this is dangerous now.
Here.
Yes, well.
Did you invite him?
So I'm in town, so I thought I might as well invite
Oh
him
my
to our little
god.
gathering. Though it stands to reason since you travel by foot, unlike myself. Why don't you just relax yourself? Here, start with a little drink.
Saber's on watch, and understandably so.
Of course you believe that. Stupid mongrel.
Is he creating his own drink? Whoa!
This is the beverage of a true king.
A fine treasure indeed.
This is a crazy scene.
Oh, magnificent!
Oh, even she loves
My
it.
treasury houses. This alone should indicate which among us is the greatest of kings.
You think?
Archer. But the Holy Grail is not a drinking cup. First, we must hear what wish you would have the Grail grant should you win it.
Yeah.
The wish is what gives the Grail its
Oh,
purpose.
yes.
You are not ruler here, mongrel. The amount of wealth in my treasury long ago surpassed my own knowledge. But that the Holy Grail is a treasure also means that it belongs to me. And any who would take it for themselves is not but a filthy scoundrel and a common thief.
I mean, he's such
Your
a
words are no
selfish
different
douche.
than Castor's senseless and insane rants.
Indeed. However, there is no reason whatsoever for me to reward lowly mongrels of your ilk.
Wait a minute. You're gonna be stingy?
But I must render my judgment upon those who would dare to steal treasure from me.
Okay.
It's simply a matter of principle.
On what morals and reasoning are these principles of yours based?
It is
I like how he's really getting into
my
it.
law which I set down as the rightful king.
perfect.
It's all just ego.
Living by one's own law is the epitome of kingship. Nevertheless, I desire the Holy Grail so badly I can almost taste it. And it...
You break the law and I will punish you. There is no place for discussion.
I like, and Saber's just being
which means
very
that all
quiet
we have
here.
left to us
Just taking
is
this
to meet
in.
on the field of combat. Would you still like us to help you finish this off tonight? There'll be plenty of time to kill each other after.
Indeed.
Nice.
Or do you drink I did you the honor of providing?
No, of course not.
No,
I
he
would
loves a
dream of
drink.
letting this drink go to waste.
We
King
feel
of
Sabers.
Conquerors, you agree that the Holy Grail's rightful ownership lies with another and not yourself.
Mm.
And
Oh, he's starting to get drunk, I think.
Reincarnation.
Hmm.
What? Goal's supposed to be world conquest? Ow!
Oh god.
Mongrel, you would dare challenge me for my treasure over something so trivial?
I don't know if
Even
reincarnation
imagine
is
there's form in
trivial.
this world. Succeeding in that endeavor is the true meaning of conquest.
Yeah, he just wants to be alive
Thus
again.
it begins.
Then the matter is settled. I shall take great pleasure in killing you myself.
So get ready.
that is hardly fitting of how a true king should behave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let us hear what you would ask of the Grail.
Yeah.
If you...
I wish for my homeland's salvation.
Hmm.
I shall avert Britain's fate of destruction.
Okay.
They're having a drinking party of all things?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ryder may very well possess a trump card that surpasses the Gordius wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we should put this to the test.
Put it to the
With Ryder and his
test.
a better chance to attack them will never again present itself.
You're gonna do it now?
Odds of victory, even if Assassin is defeated, as long as he can gauge their relative strengths, the objective
Oh,
will be accomplished.
it makes sense. Just
We do
attack
have the
now.
option of
defeat
launching an
one-
attack right now, Kire.
Yeah.
I believe it will take roughly 10 minutes to summon all of the assassins.
Are you attacking with all of the assassins, not just
Give
like
me
one or two?
Use a command seal to give Assassin the following order.
Oh,
Be victorious no matter the cost. Got it?
okay. All right.
Did you just say that you would change fate? Does that mean that you wish to change events long past?
Yeah.
Indeed. If the Holy Grail is truly omnipotent, then surely,
Yeah, maybe.
for it was I, and none other who was to blame.
She takes responsibility.
And yet you feel regret?
Oh my god, this fucking
How can I
loser.
not laugh at such nonsense?
Saber,
What a douche.
surely you do not really mean...
Why is my sadness about that strange?
Did you hear that drivel, Ryder? Did you hear
These
what
two
that
have too
little
much
girl who
ego
owns
to,
our
like,
king
get
at night
her.
said? Her
It is the nation and the people who must devote themselves to the king. You have
Yeah, this
reversed
is
the
what I
concept.
was saying.
I what? Those are the words of a brutal tyrant.
They have too much ego.
Just so.
Your reign ended with all your heirs slain, and your great empire broken up by civil war. Do you mean to say
Its destruction was inevitable. I shall mourn it, and
Its
shed
destruction
tears,
was
but
inevitable.
I shall never regret it.
worthless is a king who fails to protect the weak? A just
Yeah.
king, guided by just laws. Those are the true duties of a king.
I love Saber.
So you are a slave to what is right?
I am.
Yeah.
Kings are
I'm not-
martyrs to their ideas.
I'm not mad about that.
Must be greedier than any other. He must laugh more loudly, rage for much longer, and embody the very extreme of all things, good and evil.
I don't agree with him, but it's
That is why
very
his
interesting.
retainers envy his very Surely you must know what became of those who were saved by you,
Mm.
and were left to fend for themselves.
What are you saying?
Right. Oh, cool shot.
Have saved them, but you never led them.
Hmm.
You went on to follow your own pretty little ideals to the end.
Hmm. Interesting.
You serves others. You're just a little girl.
Okay.
I...
Maybe there's some truth to what he's saying. I still think he's too much of an extremist, but maybe he's got a point.
Simply thought that your anguished face was a rather lovely sight. It was the face
These
of the
guys are such
virgins who showered
douchebags.
me with flower petals in my bed.
Bastard!
Oh, here comes the assassin. Yeah.
Assassin?
Jeez, yep. Bringing all of them out.
Servants with separate bodies for each of his multiple personalities?
May yet show us which is the greatest king.
So I suppose you'll invite them all to our little banquet as well, King of Conquerors?
The king's words are meant for all to hear and observe.
I don't think they're gonna sit down and have a drink.
Listen, it matters. Any who would speak with us, come forth and take a cup. This drink is as your blood.
Alright, well. Guess that answers that.
Very well.
Time to fuck you up.
As I said, is as your blood.
You've spilled it,
insist on
so
spilling it
let's
here
spill some blood.
And so be it.
Oh shit.
Saber! Exactly what a real king is all about when faced with an adversary like this one.
Okay. Oh my god, what the fuck's going on? He changed the landscape to a fucking desert?
A reality marble?
Reality
It's
marble.
impossible until image materialized into the real world.
Huh.
Because it still exists deep within our hearts.
Oh my god.
Behold, their bodies utterly destroyed and their souls.
Oh, cool.
And still, these legendary heroes
Some good
place
designs.
their loyalty to me, my path to kingship, the ultimate noble phantasm that I possess, Ionian Hetairai!
Hell yeah, dude. Just got a huge fucking army.
It has been a long time, partner.
Aww.
Equals that of all who would follow him to his ultimate glory combined. Shall we begin our battle, assassin?
Yeah, I mean, the assassins are majorly outnumbered now.
Plain. We hold the advantage. Annihilate them!
Oh my god! Exodia, obliterate! And he's leading the charge. Oh. Oh my god. Is this kinda really gonna wipe out all of Assassin? Oh my god. Jeez, man. Did he do it? He just wiped them all out?
That ending wasn't as much fun as I'd hoped. Tonight was for a conversation amongst kings. But I no longer recognize you as a king.
That makes me upset. I like how he exits like Santa Claus.
Pay that base mongrel no heed, Saber. You are correct. Follow the path you believe in.
Really?
As you bear a burden of kingship that is too heavy a weight for any.
Oh.
Quite a splendid and marvelous thing to look upon.
Okay, I think you're just being a dick.
Added, oh great king of knights, still more of my magnificent love.
Okay. I'd be so pissed if I was Saber after all of that conversation.
Saber.
Just completely destroyed her pride.
Was shared by all of the knights who sat with me at the round table.
Saber does strike me as like autistic. Alright, that was a great episode. Really cool. I said at the end that that Saber strikes me as like being sort of autistic coded. And that's not, I'm not using that as an insult. I'm actually saying, like, I feel like she does have that, like, she sort of struggles to understand people properly. You know, she has this ideal in her head of like what she sees as values and what she sees as justice and stuff. And I've kind of thought this throughout the series, but I think, like, I didn't want to say it explicitly until like there was something in the show I could link it to, and them saying, like her saying that, like, you know, a knight left Camelot saying that I didn't understand how they felt, and like I wonder if that's how all of the knights felt. Like I feel like that's a very common thing for like autistic people, especially, where it's like they they think they're doing the right thing. They think everything's going all right, but then they find out that everyone, like, that they didn't actually understand anyone, and that everyone was upset with them, and they didn't even know it, and stuff like that. That kind of feels like what it might be for Saber. But I thought this was a very interesting discussion that they had, because Iskander, Gilgamesh, and Arthur all have like very different ideas of, well, not very different ideas, but they've all got quite different ideas on like what a king is and what a king should be, and how they run their life. But like, it was interesting to find out in this episode that actually Archer and Ryder were closer to each other's idea of what a king is than Saber is to either of them. Now, I don't want to make any like definitive statements, because I think I want to see how the story plays out and how these characters like back up what they say. But my initial immediate reaction is I think Saber's mostly right, but then I think Iskander's a little bit right. I don't know how much I don't think I'm on board with Gilgamesh's ideas really at all. He just kind of comes across to me as like someone so up his own ass that it's hard to take his ideals of how things should be seriously, because it's so skewed by his own self-importance. But Iskander, I can see, like, his ego is also coming from a place of he genuinely believes this to be how one should live their life. And he seemed like he was actually trying to offer advice. So, like, Iskander's idea, like, what Iskander was saying to Saber seems like, look, you were so caught up on your ideals of what's right and wrong that you actually didn't lead the people. You didn't provide them a proper leader that they could look up to. And like that may be true. I'm not sure. I still like think I'm still with Saber when she says like, you genuinely, like, you know, all of this shit went wrong and you take no responsibility for that. You have no regrets for that. Like, there's the idea of like living with no regrets, as in, you know, having confidence in yourself to keep moving forward. But then I think you can take it too far where it's like you're not even taking responsibility or accountability for the things that you had a part in, because he says like that, what was the words he said? Do I have it written here? Maybe I don't. He says like the way that things turned out were inevitable, which I think implies that he's like, look, I'm the person that I am, and no matter what, I would have made these same actions. And so the fact that it ended up the way it was could not be changed. And I think that, I don't think that's a healthy way to think. I don't think you should be like, I'm the person I am, and so I'm always going to do what I'm going to do. And if it turns out that that gets everyone killed, then so be it, you know? Because I think we should be striving to actually be the person who can, you know, if you're a king, like, rule the people the best, keep the people safe, like, do all of that. So like, I think if the person you are isn't the person that can do that, you either become the person that can do that, or you step the fuck aside, you know, for someone else to take the reins. So that's my thought on what he was saying, where it's like, I think there's somewhere between Saber and Iskander is where I think the best version of a king could be. I think it's more on Saber's side, in my personal opinion, but you know, like, I'm sure there are going to be people who argue it should be way more on Iskander's side, or that Saber's completely in the wrong and Iskander's completely right. But yeah, no, I'm like, it doesn't quite sit right with me, the idea of like, oh, there's you know, you shouldn't hold on to what's right and wrong, because I think that's a very important thing for a leader to be able to do, is hold on to ideas of right and wrong. But I thought it was a very interesting conversation between them. It's really cool to get all those perspectives. I like that this show actually took an episode for them to just sit down and talk about that. It's also crazy that Iskander can seemingly like summon everyone to his little desert and just have his army beat the shit out of them. Like, that was insane. Is Assassin all dead? I'm not sure. By the way, it seemed like I need to get my notes out again. What did I do with my notes? Oh, there they are. What the fuck? It seemed like Tokiomi told Kirei to use a command to do that. So I'm going to, for now, mark, because I'm trying to keep track of who's used commands. I'm gonna for now mark that Kirei used the command. It's possible he didn't. Like, it's possible he didn't follow what Tokiomi said. But it's fine. If I've got it marked wrong, then so be it. But I've now marked that Kirei has used, I think, his first command of the series. So yeah, I'm shocked though. Like, is Assassin okay? This is the second time at least in the series where I'm like, is Assassin dead now? Because it seemed like he said he wanted to summon all of Assassin, and then Iskander just fucked them up. But that would be like wild. But you know, I don't know. There's only so many episodes of this series. Some of the spirits have got to get taken out at some point. Maybe genuinely that's it for Kirei's spirit. I don't know. No, I think if anything, he probably saves one assassin no matter what. There might be one that's like the main assassin. This is the strongest one, and he saves that one no matter what. So maybe that one's still around. I don't know. Yeah. So we also, I like how at the start Iskander was like, hey, let's all have a talk, because there doesn't need to be bloodshed in this war. We could, like, it's basically just whoever is most worthy gets the grail, right? Fighting can be a way to solve who's most worthy, but it doesn't have to be. How about we just sit down and talk about it and agree who's at the top? And it's like, it's such a funny idea, because Iskander's saying that, but Iskander clearly thinks he's at the top. Like, basically every spirit here is going to think that they are going to be the ones at the top, you know? So, like, it's funny, the idea that, like, it's a nice sentiment, the idea of, like, let's just talk it out, and then we don't have to kill each other. But the end result is going to be every spirit going, like, well, I should be at the top, but then with the rankings of you guys, I'm not sure, you know? So yeah, very funny. And yeah, we found out that Iskander wants reincarnation, and what's her name? Saber wants the salvation of her homeland. Although it did make me think in this episode, right? They're talking about, like, what would you do with the wish, and then they're saying that that's what they would do. But the Holy Grail, I imagined it grants a wish. And I also imagined that the wish was granted to the summoner, to the person who's controlling the heroic spirit, not the heroic spirit themselves. So, one, like, there's multiple things here. One, maybe it grants one wish and the heroic spirits are talking hypothetically. Two, I think that's the least likely one. Two, it grants one wish and the heroic spirits are talking because they're saying they're assuming they're going to be able to get that one wish, you know, that the masters aren't going to take it. Or three, does it actually grant one wish per, you know, one wish for the heroic spirit and one wish for the person in charge, because they're both, like, members of the team? I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't know what the because I feel like if I'm Waver watching that, like, and the Holy Grail only had one wish to give, and it was, you know, and the plan was to give it, like, for Waver to get it, I think if I was Waver watching, I'd be like, Iskander, why are you talking about the wish that you want? You're not getting a wish, no matter what happens. You know, you're just the proxy to fight for my wish. So that makes me think it's more like 3, that they get 1 wish each, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they've gone into it yet. I don't know if they've gone into specifics. So I guess we'll maybe find out. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all I wanted to talk about for Fate Zero Episode 11. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.